Hi, I'm Jeff and welcome to Ollie's Last Crank Garage. On this video we're going to be splitting this tractor in half so I can get in there and change the throwout barron. We're going to be doing the wrong thing the wrong way, and it's definitely a video of don't do as I do. There'll be some sketchy stuff, I'm sure. So by the time we get this thing split in half, you're going to think that there was some of this involved. But trust me, there wasn't, but I'm sure there will be by the time I get done. So let's get started. Okay, I am going to give you a quick little rundown before we do get started so you have an idea what I'm doing. We're going to take this hydraulic housing off here. We'll drain the oil right there, and hopefully that's the only thing on this side of the tractor that I have to take apart. Usually you would take the hood and all this stuff off so you can get at everything a lot easier, but I'm going to try to cheat the system here. And then on this side here, my fuse block is mounted to the hydraulic tank, touch control hydraulic, whatever you want to call it. So I'm hoping I can just take the starter wire off, and then my harness to the headlights. There's one wire to the magneto. I got a water temperature switch up there somewhere, and then the oil pressure switch right here. And we'll go around and we'll take the screws off of the instrument cluster, panel, cowl, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully we can, or what else I'm going to do is I'm going to put a block of wood on top of the head up to the gas tank to support the gas tank. And we're going to try to separate this thing like that. The sketchy part that I mentioned is 2 milk crates under the oil pan on the engine. And then I've got this wheel dolly here with another milk crate. We're going to need some blocks, and we'll put that up underneath the bell housing or somewhere under there and see if we can't get this thing split. Something I see other people when they separate these, they forget to put a block to stop the axle from twisting side to side because the engine is all to one side. And once you dismount it from the, what do you want to call it, the bell housing, tunnel, whatnot, this whole front half can twist on that, and that wouldn't be pretty. So let's get started. All right, let's see what we got here. This one off. I don't even know if it's gonna drain right. Really? Huh. I thought it would have come out better than that. Well, I suppose we can make even more of a mess. Let's take these 3 off and pull this away from the block. I don't know where the drain is. It's in the back here. Oh, that would make even more of a mess. Alright, let me get this stuff for that. Okay, so I took the hose off. I don't know why that wouldn't drain. It's got to be in a different... yeah. But anyway, let's take this off. Alright, we'll let that do its thing. And I think that was the only thing on this side that I said I needed to do. We can start taking the wiring harness off the lights. Alright, we'll get this off. And I have a question for you guys. I'm just curious, how many of you guys have found my channel from Farmall Cub in Facebook? I'm just curious. If you guys, just leave something in the comments if you come over from Facebook, from seeing the little ads that I put in there. Let me cut that clip off, and then we'll pull that off. I'll put this back in before I forget. As I'll put that screw down somewhere and I'll never find it again. Far I went in with that. This off. Oh, how the hell did I put that in there? I'm destroying it, trying to get it out. I don't want to destroy it. I don't want to take that rubber grommet out of there either. It's in there quite a ways. I don't know if I can pull that through. Oh yeah. How's that? I'll just make more work for later, that's all. Get that out. Put that back in for safekeeping. Okay, just put it in backwards, but that's all right. Put that in our box of stuff. Now on top of the radiator, there's a couple of clips. Oh, there we go. All right, that's one. Let's move on to the other side. Okay, so this side, I added this wire that runs along back to my hood to the loader arm for the headlights. So there should be a connection here. Oh, look at that. I thought I was going to have to cut it. Let's do that. This here. No room to get my hand in there. Get a different utensil. All right, let's see if we can do this without scratching the paint. Alright, so there's the headlight harness. Now all I got is stuff on the alternator and the water temperature. Let me see if I get those off. Okay, so we've got the alternator unhooked. All that we have left here is the wire for the mag. Get that off. And then we can move on to the starter wire, and just going to take the starter cable off, and this wire here going to the oil sending unit. Actually, that's just a push on. Ouch! Okay, let me get something for the starter wire, and Then we will double check our wires if there's anything there that has to come apart. All right, we'll get this off. And I'll move on to the next. I know this isn't gonna go easy. Never does. This here, that can stay. Shoot. I didn't have to get up under the hood to do that alternator wire. I could have just undid it right there. Oh well. Yeah, I guess it'll work. Alright, so let's take a peek at this. I got this off. Goes back to the harness. Fuse block is all staying with the hydraulics. I think that's it. I got a couple of clips. This screw up here is holding a clip in the back for this harness that's going to come out. I just got to take that screw out. And then we'll start undoing the instrument panel cowl, or whatever you want to call it. Let me get a screwdriver for that. Alright, let's get this off. That's actually a screw and a nut on the back side. And we'll put this back together. Alright, I guess this is out of the way for now. Take the starter linkage off. Take the starter off eventually anyway, so we can paint it. That needs a new cotter pin. Okay, I got the rod for the throttle. Let me get that off. Okay. Get that off. Now, let's just get this harness out of our way. There. That can stay there. I'm going to take this starter off. It'll eliminate, oops, I don't know why I just took this off. Put that back on. Help eliminate some of the weight. And like I said, it's going to come off anyway. Get this off. Oh, and in this video, I am going to ask the second question for the free t-shirt contest. I keep forgetting to ask the second question. So there's only one person that answered the first question. And if you haven't seen the video of explaining the rules for the competition, it's probably 4 videos back. You head over to the channel. I'm not going to re-explain it again now, but so a little bit later in this video, I'll ask a second question and see if we can't give that t-shirt away. Okay, there's the starter. Get that out of the way. Okay, something else I forgot. The steering rod has to come off. I think it would be easy to take it apart here. And this is something else that I never got back to, is I was supposed to put a new seal in here. Actually, I didn't ever even put any oil or grease in it or anything. And all these shiny bolts that I'm taking off are all stainless steel. I wanted to do that with all of them eventually. All these nuts and screws, all stainless steel. I want to get some of these bigger ones to put in there so I don't have to worry about painting them. And they're expensive. I don't have the biggest budget. I don't have a budget at all, really, doing this. Turn the steering wheel. The only thing wrong with doing this is up here in the top, it's going to end up scratching the paint. I don't really want to scratch my paint, but it is happening. Scratch the paint. Come on. Really? You know what? I should have just took this bolt out of the top here. My stupidity already starting. There's a bolt up here on the top. I could have just taken that out and slid that off, which I think I'm going to do. Alright, let's see if we can get this off. I don't know why I didn't do that first. Alright, now let me go around and take these all off. I might have to break the nut loose free on the backside first. Alright, let me get these all off and I'll bring it back when this is apart. And then we're going to prop up the gas tank from on top of the head. And then we can start unbolting the transmission. Okay, so you're going to have to trust me on this one. I cut a block of wood close to the size that I need. It's going to sit right on top of the head. And I was going to put it on the bottom of the gas tank, but the end of it is rounded, so I couldn't get a good spot where it wouldn't slip off. So it's going to go up inside the hood, and it's going to go on this rib. So hopefully it don't put dents in it or anything, but we're going to try it. And I'm just going to pry up a little bit there. I think that's it. Yeah, you can come and see. I'll let you. So the block is on top of the head. And, oh yeah, of course, this light ain't gonna let you see. There you go. It's up on the rib. So we did that. All I got left is one screw. And I think that's all we got. And we're gonna undo this transmission and set up our stands, if you will. Oh, something else while I'm right here. That's all the oil that came out of the reservoir. It's about a half a quart. I don't know why, but unless it all got sucked into the main reservoir on the loader itself. But anyway, let's do whatever it was I just said I was gonna do. I remember. Oh, that was loose. You can see the chips of paint I had to wrestle to get this on there. I mean, I did a restoration on this, yes, but it was only for me. I wasn't worried about too much stuff. Wasn't going for an award-winning tractor or anything, so it got forced into place in a few times. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm not taking this hood off, because that whole grill system and the pieces up in the front, they're all kind of not forced together, but not pretty. So now this is all loose. I suppose I should take this off and slide it out. Well, maybe it won't matter. This is going to stay with this. And get this the rest of the way off. Alright. Now I believe the only thing holding this together is the bell housing. So let me get set up to do that. Okay, so there's 2 at the very top of the bell housing and then 2 down here and 2 on the other side, so 6 altogether. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top 2 off, this one off on both sides, and then I'll loosen this bottom one, and then we'll get set up to split it apart. And there's so much paint on these bolt heads. Not for long though. Wrench don't want to fit. Top one's off. Get this next one. That is the one I'm taking off. Okay. Now I'm just going to break this bottom one free, and then I'm going to go on the other side and do the same thing. Free. All right, I'm gonna go do the other side and we'll be right back. Okay, so here comes the sketchy part I promised. And again, don't do this. Don't do this. I'm gonna put that under there. I think I can get a 2x4 wedged under there. And then we're going to take this one on this wheel dolly. I wish it would fit in better. It doesn't fit in very good. I wonder if I should put a couple boards across. Okay, so it looks like that piece of 2x4 is going to work out pretty good. I can make the crate squat a little bit, but we'll try it. I'm going to jack this up in the middle, slide that under, let the jack down. It's already trying to split right here. I had a fella in the comments, he just subscribed recently, and he said when he got to the channel, being Ollie's Last Crank Garage, he thought he was going to see more stuff on working on stuff instead of just moving stuff around with the loader and everything else. So I don't know if there's a lot of you guys out there that were wanting to see more of working on the tractor, but I guess I'll find out in the views. And again, don't do it like this at home. And there's another fella who started a channel. Oh, I don't want to have to pick up that eye. We'll see. That might be too much pressure on it. Might need a thinner piece of wood. Oh, it's rolling. Is this gonna work? I think so. Let's try that again. I'm gonna block up the tires first. Okay, let's try this again. Stay. Okay, it's all the way under. It should be out of the way. Yeah, and I got it close to the end of the milk crates where there's a little bit more strength. Let's try that. I don't know if I like that. The whole thing's. You know, let me get another 2x4. I'll put one in the front too. It'll stop it from rocking. Alright, I slid that in there. That'll help disperse the weight better. That should be good. Maybe much in the front. Is this a good idea? I'm going to block up the tires better, stop it from rocking. And I might put a shim under that one. Okay, so what's the worst that can happen? Again, I wish this thing would fit on the side. Do not. The back half, well, I guess it is going to be kind of heavy. It'll be all right. I'm going to put that here. Now I got to block this up and then cradle it somehow. So yeah, let me find some blocks or something for that. Okay. Is this the safest thing you've seen? We're going to call this the milk crate split. But anyway, all right, I think we're all set. I'm going to take those last two bolts out and wiggle this thing apart. Probably not going to end well, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so before we climb on the bus of disappointment, I'm going to ask the second question in the t-shirt giveaway. If you don't know what the rules are, I have a video, maybe 5 videos back, explaining the rules and what you're going to do. So the question is, what was the best-selling farmall tractor back in the day? You answer that question first correctly with this one, and answer the first question from the other video first, and you'll win a free t-shirt. I only have the gray and a black, and they're both extra large right now, so that's what you'll end up getting. So good luck. Okay, would you look at this operation? So I'd almost like to wait until tomorrow to do this, because all I'm going to have time for tonight is to split it. And if it seems like it's a little wibble wobbly, I don't know how comfortable I'll feel leaving it overnight. But we're going to do it anyway. So what I did was I took the nuts off of these last 2 bolts, and we're going to try to separate it and see how it feels. Hopefully, if it does something stupid, what's left of the bolts there. I had some longer studs I could have put in there somewhere, but I don't know where they are. So let's see if we can't split this. I have it's split all the way up and it seems pretty even. So is everybody on the bus? I'm fighting this jack or not. Okay, we're about 3/8 of an inch apart there. Drop down a little bit. We're looking okay. I don't see anything. I don't see anything caught anywhere. Let's see. Are these milk crates moving? Are you watching? That's not even tight. That one's rolling back. Okay, the linkage for my throttle. It's getting stuck on something. Oh yeah, it's stuck in the head. All right, we'll move that. Oh, we're coming apart. Let's see. Well, would you look at that? Before I go too far. Oh, that seems pretty good. This seems pretty good. Look at that. We did it. If I could get my legs up, I'd do a split. All right, that's awesome. How much can you see? Can you still see? Oh, you can still see. Let's do a little wiggle test. That ain't going nowhere. We'll do a wiggle test. We'll do a wiggle test over here. Watch it, the whole thing will fall on the floor. Ow, bad shoulder. I don't know. That looks pretty good to me. That worked out slicker than shit. Okay. Yeah. Let me at least show you this. Oops. We'll take that throwout bearing out, but that thing is Hamburg. You can see if you watch the other video, there's the bolt I took out with the two nuts, the pin with the cotter pin. I know that's not supposed to have that much slop, but it is what it is. Huh. Yeah, that's, I wish I had another new one to look at it. But I ain't taking it off tonight. So, we split it. Okay, so let me show you what I got. This is the first throwout bearing that came out of this tractor when I got it. Yeah. So, after I put this tractor together, and it wasn't long before I could tell there was something wrong. So I went and ordered, this is a ball bearing, throwout bearing. And yeah, it does say that. But I think this is the way to go. And like I said, I got to get the fingers right here. You can see they were wearing pretty good. But it should be all right. I just got to get something flat to make sure they're all the same. It looks like this bottom one right here might be in further than the other two, which would have caused most of my problems. But anyway, I bet you've never seen somebody split a tractor like that before. Or if maybe you did. I don't know. Pretty cool. So I thought for sure I'd be driving the bus of disappointment right into the ground on this one, but the milk crate so far have held up great. Everything came apart nice. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it like this before. Maybe it's a first, maybe not. I'm not sure. So obviously this is episode 1. In the next episode, we'll get the new throwout bearing in here. We'll adjust the fingers on the clutch, and we'll get it back together and hopefully take it for a ride. And if you don't mind, if you haven't subscribed already, head over and hit the subscribe, like, and comment. The comments help the channel out greatly. Anything you want to throw at me, questions or anything about the tractor, any of my other projects, this is the 19th video, I think. There's a bunch more Cub stuff if you haven't seen the channel before. And so I think that's going to do it for this video. I just want to say thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Working on old tractors and pickups, keeping them from a would-be grave, working out of his basement, tools everywhere, doing the wrong thing the wrong way, keeping the smells to a minimum so his wife won't